1.6 is all about the different types of measurements. And so the measurement units that we use in the United States is what is called the customary, I don't have space in the blank, so I'm going to write it below it, the customary system. Okay, that's what we use in the U.S. And that's the system that has inches, feet, yards, miles, and there's various gallons, anything like that. Anything that we actually use that you hear about in the United States is part of the customary system. So the four major measurements are inches, foot, yard, and miles. Inches is used by the abbreviation IN. Foot is FT, and a foot is 12 inches. A yard is represented by the abbreviation YD, and a yard is 3 feet. And miles represented by the abbreviation MI, and it's 5,280 feet. The other types of measurements we can talk about are millimeters, centimeters, meters, kilometers. Anything that has the word meter in it, notice all of these have meter. If it's got the word meter in it, it's part of what we call the metric system. And that's what you use in your science classes for the most part. It also is everything with liters, so milliliter, anything like that. But meters, anything with the word meters in it is metric. The abbreviation for millimeter is mm. The abbreviation for centimeter is cm. And there are, it's 1/100th of a meter. What that means is there's 100 centimeters in a meter. A millimeter is 1/1000th of a meter, which means there's 1,000 millimeters in a meter. A meter is just abbreviated for M, and meters are the standard measurement for the metric system, which is why it doesn't have a phrase in front of it like milli or centi or kilo. It's just meter. And the last one is a kilometer, and its abbreviation is km, and it is 1,000 meters. I've given you the conversion ratios for everything. So something I would like for you to write down on the next page is where it says convert 527 inches to feet. So what I want you to remember, that whatever when you convert, you start with whatever the number you're given, and then you're going to multiply it by some fraction. Whatever you are converting to goes on top. So what you're converting to goes on top, and then what you're converting from goes on bottom. And that's where you're going to have to use your conversion ratios. But whatever you're converting to is on top and from is on bottom. So if we're converting 527 inches to feet, okay, if you read a second ago, inches, there was 12 inches was the same thing as 1 foot. So if I'm converting 2 feet, I'm going to put 1 foot on top. And if I'm converting from inches, I'm going to put 12 inches on bottom. And so I'm going to multiply 527 times 1 divided by 12. And that's going to give me an answer of 43.92. So 527 inches is the same thing as 43.92 feet. Again, I've given you the conversion ratios from inches to centimeters and those various conversions. So the next question says convert 17 miles to kilometers. So we're converting this time from miles to kilometers. So I'm going to multiply 17 miles times a fraction. What I'm converting to is kilometers, so that's going to go on top. What I'm converting from is miles, so that's going to go on bottom. So if you look at your miles to kilometers ratio, you know that 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. So there's my conversion ratio, and I'm just going to multiply it. 17 times 1.61 divided by 1, and I'm going to get 27.37. The next one says to convert 150 millimeters to inches. So I'm going to take the number 150. I know I'm going to have to multiply it by a fraction. I'm converting 2 inches, so that goes on top. I'm converting from millimeters, so that goes on bottom. And the conversion you're given for inches and millimeters is that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Now that's a problem because we don't have centimeters. So we don't actually have a conversion from inches to millimeters. So we've got to first take our millimeters and convert it into centimeters. So let's think back to what it said about centimeters and what we said about centimeters and millimeters. So there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So before we can actually convert from millimeters to inches, we've got to convert 150 millimeters into centimeters. So we're going to multiply by centimeters over millimeters. We know there's 1 centimeter, and that's 10 millimeters. We multiply, and we're going to get 15 centimeters. Now we do have a conversion of how we do know how to convert from inches, or 2 inches from centimeters. We know that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So we're going to multiply 15 times 1 divided by 2.54, and we're going to get 5.91. So 150 millimeters is the same thing as 5.91 inches. So the rest of the notes are just conversions. So we're going to go ahead and skip over to the practice. For number 1, you're supposed to convert from 17 yards into feet. So I'm going to have to do 17 times. I'm converting 2 feet, so that goes on top. I'm converting from yards, that goes on bottom. So if you go back and look at your conversions, you know that there is 3 feet in 1 yard. So we're going to multiply 17 times 3 divided by 1, and we're going to get 51. So there's 51 feet in 17 yards. Number 3, we're converting from millimeters to centimeters. So we have 1,457 millimeters. So we're converting 2 centimeters from millimeters. And we know that there is 1 centimeter, and there's equal to 10 millimeters. So I'm going to multiply 1457 times 1 divided by 10, and I'm going to get 145.7. Number 5, I'm supposed to convert 6 kilometers to miles. So I have 6 times, I'm converting 2 miles from kilometers. So my conversion ratio is, looking back through the notes, we know 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. So I multiply 6 times 1.61, and I get an answer of 3.73. So there's 3.73 miles in 6 kilometers. Number 7, I'm supposed to convert 16 inches to millimeters. So I know it's going to be 16 times millimeters on top, inches on bottom, and my conversion for that is, oh, and that's another one. I don't have a conversion from millimeters to inches, so I have to convert from millimeters to centimeters. Or sorry, from inches to centimeters. Then we're going to go on and convert our centimeters to millimeters. Okay. So we have 16 inches. I've got to convert it to centimeters from inches. And I know that there's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. So I'm going to multiply 2.54 times 16 and divide that by 1. And I'm going to get 40.64 centimeters. Now I have to multiply my centimeters and convert that into millimeters. And as we learned earlier, there is 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So we're going to multiply and we get 406.4. I do not know if the last page is available for you, but I still wanted to do number 9 just to make sure that you had seen it. So it says the area of a playground is 236 yards squared. What is that area in feet squared? And you were again given these conversions. So 236 yards squared, I'm converting it to feet squared, so that's going to go on bottom. And that conversion ratio was given to you in the notes. And you're told that there's 9 feet squared and 1 yard squared. So you multiply 236 times 9, and then we're going to divide that by 1, and it's going to give us an answer of 2124 feet squared.